many windmills. Artistic.
Everything, yeah.
あ、視聴者 Cheers.
An Austrian beer.
Dangerous. すごいな。Beautiful. すべてがすごいね。第一、美しい。
All the historic.
It was a nice day. 別れました。泣いちゃうね、いつも別れは。あれ？涙が出ない。ちょっと短すぎる滞在だったね。一泊は初めてだった。まあもともと2泊か3泊ぐらいの予定だったよね。
言語がによってさ、
うん。
どの国にどの国
行けるかとか、うん、
働けるっていう、
働けるっていう、
住めるし、
うんうん、
こんなに近い国なのに隣り合ってる国でもさ、
うん、
全然違ったりさ、
そうね。
逆に離れてる国でさ、似てたりとかさ、
うん、チェコとスロバキアと、まあ、やっぱスラブ系の言語だから、クロアチアとか。クロアチアも文法 100% 一緒で、ワードが 50% ぐらい違うって言ってたよね。だから方言よりはちょっと遠いけど、会話はできるし、あ、そうだ。食料調達。お、あと2時間も残ってます。これ頭いい。頭よ。結果めっちゃ乗ったよね。絶対お得だった気がする。早っ。早すぎじゃない？わかるかな、この速さが。G を感じるもん。そのチェコスロバキアがなんかもともと同じ国だったから同じ歴史持ってるのかなって思ってたけど、チェコはドイツだしスロバキアはハンガリーからの影響が強くて、1400年ぐらい前は一緒の民族が住んでたけど、そこから文化とかが全然変わっていったって言ってたね。雨がやばいね。ウィーンに大雨警報が出たって。
災害地域に指定されました。
ウィーンが指定されちゃったのかな。
いや、全州だった。
あ、オーストリア。寒いしね。ウィーンの方が寒そうだからね。結構待ちましたと。ウィーンに到着。
Very unlikely.
ああ。Many windmills.
But I can show you that's a place where you see.
Oh, really? Luna. The smell is really nice.
Really nice. Thank you.
Thank you for the good meal.
I hope.
How to call this dish? This soup?
Kresse-Suppe.
Kra?
Kresse is like, this is this pepper.
Pepper
grass. Yeah.
Pepper grass.
So that you can see.
Oh.
See it changes.
Oh. I like this grass. Artistic.
Everything.
This is the Austria bread.
Yeah.
This shape is important,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
ingredient is important.
I mean, the ingredients is just like white
Flour,
bread.
yeah.
But the shape is very, very typical for Austria. The weather is nice.
Wow.
Super means
Super, yeah. Very good.
very good.
They're just putting their marks to mark the area. And of course, higher the mark, the higher the dogs are in the rank.
ああ、100年に一度の大雨らしいです。こういう堤防とかも普段はないらしいけど。There is a river here.
The river is here.
Uh-huh.
I guess you can already hear it.
The sound of river.
There is, they are reducing water, taking it out of the river
Uh-huh.
and putting it here. This is not the river.
Oh, this is not river.
No, this is just what they are taking from the river.
Ah.
And this is why, if you hear the sound,
Yeah.
we can go over there. It's
ああ、そういうことか。
They're already getting water out of the river.
To prevent the flood.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So you see there,
Yeah. あれがリバーだよね。
But as you can
Wow.
see here, it's really quite high.
うわ、very high。超高いじゃん。
Yeah, here you see it's already.
おお。
わあ、俺。
wow, that is dangerous. アンズちゃんがルナの散歩中です。
This is called Jager tea.
ヤガ
Yeah, which means Jager is a slang in Austria for hunter. So it's the tea for hunters when they are like sitting in the forest waiting for
in
the
the winter
game to
season.
sheet. Yeah, and then this it's.
okay.
Yeah, Ghostbusters, you need to
Okay.
But now she starts new,
New.
so you have to.
Not full だよ。Not full だよ。
Ah, again.
Come again. She finished? So bad.
So now it's player 3.
ナイフがかっこいい。ね、どうも外は100年ぶりの集中豪雨で。Is this typical Australian breakfast? Not so much.
No, I would say British.
British. Ah, it's good.
British people.
Yeah.
She's always begging.
めっちゃ水が来てる。おお。わお。めっちゃ水が来てる。Normally there is no water, just ground. No water. これ全部洪水しちゃってるってことだよね。何何？あ、フリックスバス。何？プラハは昨日冠水、なんか洪水が起きたみたいな。
Oh, can you see the water?
ああ。Yeah.
I just really hope that we can make it home safely, because if the water is rising and the highway is closed, I'm sure the highway is the highest point and also the country road will be closed.
I hope.
I hope.
Higher here, because you see here the highway is going down, and and here definitely you see it's flooded.
Wow. Oh, many tourists.
Oh, that's a diplomat. You can see from the number plate it's WD. These are diplomats with the police, so usually maybe some politician from the airport. This is the parliament here to the left.
Parliament. 国会議事堂です。グリークサイドです。こちらが国会議事堂で、その正面には大きな公園があります。オーストリアとかドイツは結構移民とか受け入れてるらしくて、避難民かシリアからの避難民とかをだから結構それがアンドリューさん的にはちょっといまいち無料で病院とか受けられるっていうのが無制限の移民とか避難民に対しても提供されてしまってるっていうので、普通にアンドリューさんとかが予約するのにめっちゃ1ヶ月待ちとかになっちゃってるっていう現状があるんだし、あとやっぱドイツとかはすごいドラッグとかそういうレイプ被害とかそういうのがかなり起きて、その数字だけで言うとその 60% 以上の刑務所にいる人が避難民とか移民っていう状態らしいです。あと学校も今 50% 以上の人がドイツ語じゃない別の言語を話すらしくて、なんかまとまりとかもどうやってやってんのかなっていう状態らしい。あと1週間ぐらいに選挙があるらしいけど、リベラルな人たちが今政権を取ってるらしくて、だからそういう移民とかに対しても受け入れている。だからそれの悪い側面としてそういう状態が出てきていると。あとクリーンエナジーとかを結構重要視してるらしくて、2030年とかまでに一切ガソリン車とかを買えなくなるらしいんだけど、 BMW とかフォルクスワーゲンとかドイツ製のやっぱそういう雇用を担っているところがトヨタと同じで、新しいテクノロジーに変えていかなきゃいけないっていうのでめっちゃ大変ということですね。これ何？あ、視聴者？Oh, I wanted to see this. Like
Yes,
gorgeous.
or the circus.
Oh, circus. this is more gorgeous than the parliament,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, yeah.
What, this building for the citizen?
No, but it is just the mayor's office.
A mayor's office. Ah,
The mayor of Vienna.
so nice. The temporary.
Okay. Yeah, this is all temporary.
これはすごいね。あ、sorry。めっちゃ綺麗だね。建物が。もうすべての建物が芸術ですね。
And what I really like is there is no meaning.
Uh-huh.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah,
art.
yeah. 本当にノーミーニングだもんね。ちなみにこんな感じで中心地に大雨警報出てます。今は病院に向かっております。
Floor, there's many floors, like the bed,
Yeah.
or upstairs.
Yeah. ヨーロッパで一番でかい病院に来てます。めっちゃでかいホスピタルです。Thank you. Mm. おしゃれ。Very old.
Thank you very much.
1997. Uh-huh.
Because it's cold.
Yeah.
They put it in the fridge.
But Japan is also like this cold joke.
Here, this is the only restaurant.
And white wine. Wow, good.
This is a very, or I would say very fruity white wine.
Oh,
Just
really?
that I ordered. And, I mean, sweet wine and beer.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
I'm happy.
This
After one day in hospital.
I like this.
on
Yeah.
Oh, the smell is good.
Fruity.
This is, I would say, the most fruity type of grapes. There are more sweet wine, of course, but in Austria, it's totally forbidden to add anything to the wine. Then it's not wine anymore. Like if you add sugar or anything, or honey, or then it's not wine
Then
anymore.
totally
So
100%
this has to be
grapes.
100% grapes. Or
Otherwise,
even anything for the flavor, it's not allowed. Like with whiskey, you can have blended whiskey, but with wine, it's not allowed. So they're very strict on that. And because there had been a scandal, I guess 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when people they put some sugar in it, and then of course they said, "Oh, this wine is very fruity."
yeah.
That's cheating. So that's not. And here you can see like there are many different types of grapes. And this is a very sweet one. It's called Gelba Muscatella. That's like yellow muscat, something like this.
So you mean there are so much variety in the white grapes? Many
Yeah.
types of
They
white
are
grapes.
white. I mean, you can see white grapes, red grapes, but the white grapes, there are
A lot of
Veltliner. There are many different types of.
Because my image, the beer is more Germany or Czech Republic culture, but Austria has also like this beer.
I would say it's 50-50. Usually it's more. I mean, this is what I don't like this classification. Usually you see like more working class people, they are more into beer, and the higher class people, they're more into wine.
This is the, how to say, expensive alcohol, something like that.
It depends on the mood. I would
yeah.
say I like to drink beer. Sometimes beer is much better because if you're thirsty, or now we are eating salty food. For this, I like to have the beer against the thirst. But in the evening, if you sit together, enjoy a glass
More
of
slow
wine,
pace and
Hallo, herzlichen Dank.
Guten Appetit.
Dankeschön. So gorgeous, yeah.
You can share the spread if you like, but watch out. You want to help yourself, or should I cut?
Yeah, please. This is for 3 people.
They say it's for 2, but
Oh, 2. Wow, it's so nice.
just as a compensation for waiting in the hospital.
No,
I'm happy.
we are also happy. No lane. Good restaurant. 流れめっちゃ速くない？
Just look like you are from here.
めっちゃウィンドミルが回っております。Wow! That is a secret place. These tanks was used for World War One or Two.
No, World War Two.
True.
World War One, they just started with some tanks, but I guess it's a Russian tank.
ミリタリーベースとかだったんですよね。
If you know, this was a Soviet
Russian.
Russian tank.
But I think
Four people.
the Russian is the enemy
Yeah.
of your country at the World War II, right?
Yeah.
But you have the
I cannot say enemy, but they defended their
Ah,
countries. We attacked. But then, yeah, we were fighting against almost everybody. 55 kilometers an hour.
It's quite fast.
And this concrete slabs they used for stopping tanks. So that's also what they put here in the fields, because they said, then if they are not going on the street.
But how to move this?
Yeah, the Austrians are very strong.
Wow. Yeah, that's why you have like
Yeah.
training.
But for this, they need to. Two people need to carry it. It's just fake here, but here you can have a look over there. The highway is being built, I guess, 25 years ago. And so before they built the highway, this was the only road going from Vienna to Bratislava.
Yeah. This is
just barbed wire to show people that don't know how a field with barbed wire looks like. The students.
There's a rabbit.
Yeah. Very good eyes. Yeah. There are many
Many.
rabbits. You see.
Bye rabbit.
When I'm cycling, we see so many rabbits, even deer. And this is here like what they had a couple of installations like this, where they mounted the cannon of a tank on a concrete.
This is
This one here, yeah.
for attack some. Yeah, on the road.
They was looking on the road. At that time, the strategy, because they had no missiles at that time.
Yeah.
So the strategy was, when they see here, you can see on a long way. And if you see the tanks coming all in one behind, then they thought that they can shoot the first tank, and they shoot the second or the last tank, and then they cannot move. Then they're shooting all the tanks.
Wow. So you mean the Bratislava, the Slovakia, is the against of your?
At that time, the border between east and west was from Austria to Hungary. And Hungary was a communist country, and Austria was the Western country. So we called it Iron Curtain. There was a very strong border, barbed wire everywhere. It was guarded, and this was also the border to Hungary.
You mean the west side? It means the Germany side, and east
Germany,
side?
Austria. This was all the west side. France.
France is
Not in the Second World War.
In the
Cold War.
Cold War.
But what I'm saying, you have your professional one.
I forgot the history of the war.
So, but during the Cold War, Hungary is the communism, and
Hungary was,
this is for Cold War, or this is for World War II?
No, this was not in World War II, but they built this when, the Cold War could always become a hot war.
Yeah.
Cold War is just like aggressing, like barking dogs, but this was meant to be a line of defense.
Then that tank was for World War II, and this is for Cold War.
Later.
The different
More easy
shape.
to lift.
Yeah. How to stop the tank is very important.
Yeah. But now, nobody's just going tanks in front, because what we see with First there had been the cruise missiles.
Yeah.
You could see this changed warfare.
Yeah.
So they will just shoot everything with cruise missiles.
Mm.
And now they're using the drones if you
Yeah.
look at the war in Ukraine. So we can have a look over there.
But this is also for the Cold War.
Yeah.
Then during the Cold War, maybe I think there is no hot war,
Yeah,
so never used.
it's correct.
Just in case.
Yeah. No, I'm joking.
Oreo Coca-Cola?
Oreo. You want to try?
Yeah, I'm curious about the taste. But
Oreo without sugar.
without sugar, my God, I can't imagine the taste.
Here you see. This was the rum from yesterday.
Ah, yeah, 80%.
And you see,
Crazy
this is the
price.
one that I gave to you.
Ah, yesterday,
Yeah.
the more bitter, I think.
And this is why I'm not so fond of Jägermeister, because it's much sweeter. And
But
this stuff, this
maybe.
is. But if you like it, then
Okay.
I'm happy.
Oh,
Also, you can take the rest.
yeah.
with you on the-
Okay, then.
Anything you like?
And she loves not so much alcohol, but she loves chocolate.
Chocolate.
Yeah. Do you have any recommendation of the
Let's
Austrian?
look. Maybe there is a chocolate here in this. I'm not sure.
Oh,
There is
beer.
beer.
Yeah.
The one that you like. How to say? It's not that bitter,
Oh,
and it's more like how you
La-
can drink much of it.
you mean the light taste, like
This is an Austrian beer. I wouldn't say light taste, but not that bitter.
Oh,
If
then.
you rather want to have a light beer for Austria for winter, usually we eat this in winter. If you like chocolate, you will like it. But it's not chocolate, it's just covered with chocolate. It's
the
some
inside?
kind of dough, like bread, dough, cookie, but very traditional for
Oh,
Austria.
I want to try.
But
This is the
This
cream.
is salted caramel, dark chocolate.
this means the
Caramel.
since
Since 1650.
Wow. Nice.
very old. Oh, this is the chocolate zone.
What kind of chocolate do you like? White,
The
dark,
milk one.
milk chocolate.
The simple one.
Oh, you tried this in Germany. Yeah.
Germany brand.
Every country she goes to the supermarket and
Tries chocolate.
yeah.
Chocolate.
So you like sweet milk chocolate.
Yeah.
Let me get you some. This is an Austrian brand, but it's like a very fancy brand. I really like the company.
4ユーロ結構高いよね。So we can pay for
No, okay,
tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah.
because this is just too much.
Thank you very much.
And also the milk chocolate is a
The gift.
Gift. Thank you.
Thank you. Our most happiness is eating chocolate.
I
Don't
enjoy.
forget to mention it in the review on Couchsurfing.
Yeah, you should mention the boat.
I hear
Me.
Oh, too far.
Wow, but
This
too
is the river
fast.
here.
Wow. Wow.
Just imagine how fast. Look how fast the river is flowing.
Yeah.
You see, just a minute. This is 1 meter. You see here,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
3 meter.
3 meter.
3 meter 10.
3 meter.
Yeah, this is.
Wow.
And also like this speed. It's incredible. Yeah. Oh, no. You can put this on the bread. but some people they like to put butter under it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's try.
Thank you.
I first think this is sausage, but not sausage.
No, yeah, it's just shaped like a sausage, but
More creamy.
Yeah.
gleich einmal eine Stunde Minus zu haben, weil ich nicht um 6.
今日はビエナの市内観光でございます。アンドリューとその友達と共に。
we can have a look.
Okay.
Here in
The city, the park. 涼しいっていうかあったかいね。18度ぐらいになりました。嵐が過ぎ去り。
Only has no water.
Really?
Just like nothing.
うーん。
And I'm not quite sure. I think the base, the walking path was also underwater.
うーん。
Yeah, for you maybe it looks normal, but usually this is just very small.
Yeah.
It's like this. Here. So there's actually no water.
No
in
water. Yeah. And there is another road we can walk.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But. Oh, this is the famous musician.
Yeah,
Who?
Johann Strauss.
Johann Strauss.
But there were two actually. There were the father and the son.
Ah, but you can go up and for a picture.
Oh.
Can I go up?
どういうことなの？
トップに新しい
Like a penthouse.
This
This round shaped building.
The round shape.
It's not original.
だからそっちを残したまま上に
そこで住まいを
へえ
すごい高いらしい。
そうなんだ。
Oh, yeah,
It's gorgeous. That is?
That is the St. Stephen's Cathedral.
The deepest metro station in Vienna.
Deepest. Then it's many water there.
Actually, yeah.
Stefan?
Stephansdom.
Stephansdom.
See,
Wow.
this is the diving instructor, always looking everybody here in the sea. I don't want to miss anybody. Here there is a tower where you can go up if you like. Here. And then you go up this tower.
Okay, makes sense. That is the part of church or the separate tower?
No, it's
Separated
part of the
at
church, but
part
you can
of-
also go inside the church then.
すごいな。Beautiful.
So before there was this big church. There was a church.
Oh, here?
Yeah. And if you go down the metro, you can look at it.
Well, yeah.
Chocolate, dark chocolate, and
milk chocolate.
Very typical for compost. I mean, you know Mozart.
Yeah,
I hope.
Mozart. Yeah,
And
I know.
these are his
of
his
course.
balls.
Wow.
So enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
very much.
Oh yeah. They want to go up the
But if
So we will just accompany you to the entrance. Then we sit.
is it okay for you guys
No.
to waiting?
But if-
でさ、すごい上からさ声が聞こえてきてるのにさ全然合わなくない人とすごいなこれわあ景色が見えてきたお着いたみんなヘイヘイ言ってるこのために上がってきたぞうわあでも開いてる窓
開いてる。綺麗だね、オーストリアは。
ねあ涼しいよかったね今日晴れてお綺麗 with many horses. Oh, the smell is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, here.
Exclusive brand for the Russian people and stuff. But there are no Russians anymore here because they can't pay because all the bank accounts have been frozen. キッセンだっていい。
すんごい綺麗街が。ああ、これもスワロフスキーなんだ。I don't know Austrian company. That is your あれチョコレートじゃない？さっきもらった。違う？ No?
The chocolate?
Chocolate? Ah, yeah. This is. Oh, not this?
It's a really very small.
Oh, Sapporo ramen. This is Japanese.
This is Japanese?
Yeah. Sapporo is the
北海
hot.
道
Yeah.
Beer or?
Yeah, beer also.
So in-
札幌ビール
Ah, yeah.
But this is the
Mm.
photo, very small, traditional. The photo over there from the distance, it looked as if the girl flew over.
Chinese restaurant です。Thank you.
Ausgemacht. Super. Wir können ihm mal dazugeben. Okay?
Chili. The spicy. This one?
This is the line.
So many
Yeah.
people.
Ooh, really? ザッハトルテの列です。ホテルザッハだって。
Go inside here if you like.
ああ、だからこんな待ってる人が。
Different sizes.
うん。すごいねこれは。
Yeah. 2002 they had a big problem.
ああ、2002?
Yeah, there was a big house. There was
Flood.
There was a flood, yeah.
But compared to 2002, this lane is much more bad this time.
It was heavier,
Heavier.
but Vienna was better prepared.
Yeah, that's why the damage is not so much compared to the 2002.
People knew more what to do.
Ah, yeah. モネとピカソ。モネ見たよね。
We can go up there.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Franz Josef.
The state opera.
Maybe
Wow.
Did you see this? There was a James Bond movie that they.
これも This is also opera house.
This is the Viennese Opera House.
あ
The guy who built it killed himself because the emperor, this guy, said it's okay.
ウィーンの国立歌劇場。これだけがすごいわけではなくて、もうなんか全てがすごいね。全てが綺麗だね。ここにフランツ・ヨーゼフ一世の像があります。One is Austria, and the other is
but
the
there was a
Hungary.
time when Sissi, the emperor Sissi was,
うん。
these were together.
ああ、オーストリア・ハンガリー帝国時代の2つの頭を持った和紙らしいです。これが公園の入り口らしい。いや、Garten. Brückgarten.
What is yes in Japan?
はい。
Hi.
はい。
Hi.
Yeah, good.
Hi. And no?
いいえ。
Yeah.
いいえ。
Hi. Yeah. Hi. Yeah.
And did you
So when
do
you
you
marry, you say hi.
yeah. One time. Oh, there is also two heads eagle.
Yeah. Hi.
これはなんだこのでかい建物は。ホーフブルク王宮かな。This is, what is this? ホームブルクホーフブルク
The Hofburg.
ホーフ
This is the back side.
backside.
National Library.
National Library. Oh, National Library?
Yeah.
Then this basement is flat
Yeah, now-
coming. That's too bad. Do you remember the word? Want to be samurai. You remember?
No, samurai.
になりたい。
Ni narita. Udon. Ni narita. Ramen.
これが図書館だって。図書館には見えなくない？世界一美しいと言われてる図書館。中は今日は見れないらしいです。洪水しちゃって。
This is where this is the place where Sissi was living. There is also a museum over there. And so this was the.
すごいな。
So this, and here you see the city hall again. That was
ああ、
very
それで
fun.
ホーラギ。あ
Maybe 40 years ago, there was a huge fire, the inner building, and they had to evacuate all the historic books and everything that was there. Renovated the roof, and one guy set the roof on fire.
あ。
It was the biggest fire.
わ
And stuff.
お。ボーリング。
Really.
こっちが自然史博物館で、こっちが美術館。
This woman on the monument is Maria Theresia,
マリア・テレジア。
and she was, I guess, more important actually than the emperor.
Yeah.
She had 16 kids.
One of them, Marie Antoinette.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah. Yeah, it's very complicated history because the many Habsburg, the
we were
family,
everywhere.
yeah, everywhere, and maybe she also.
Wow, beautiful.
This was like the entrance to the emperor's
Ah, yeah.
area. So you see, this was the door, the entrance door, and this.
Dome.
Yeah.
ナショナルギャラリーとか、まあ、いろんな美術館とかくっついてんだろうね。ペストだよね。ペスト、こういうハンガリーにも同じようなやつがあった。
You see here, I mean, this is
Ah.
depicting the plague, the disease, and she's
This
really
one.
very, very ugly woman. And it's like with the help of God, this is why
the
it's the
kid.
angels and the church, they kill
Makes sense.
the-
English.
plague in English. Yeah. Pest.
We
In
learn
English,
this.
pest means small.
めっちゃレッドブルの種類があります。We will take one Red Bull or not. What do you think?
Do you want?
Yeah. Summer edition Red Bull. It's normal. It seems normal. But no window. Yeah.
You see the whole building, no windows.
Yeah.
What are they doing inside there?
What building?
Secret government facility stuff.
Again.
But you already got yours, huh? The Zotta.
And I have yesterday.
Yeah. This is even here. You can get more than one.
Same price.
Yeah. But you see, this is handmade in Vienna. This is really.
Anything you like? Mozart's chocolate?
This is the 肉じゃが、味噌スープ、だし巻きです。あと、オレオコーラ。今日も京都でルナが来ます。今回は刀を折りました。なんかね、脇差しでいっぱい覚えてくれてたので、では出発します。ルナイズスリーピングです。こんなにいっぱいどこにでもベッドがあるお家で、そこがいいの？そこがいいのか。ウィンドミラーがいっぱいあります。Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, everything.
All the best. I'm
Yeah,
sad to leave you.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It was a nice day.
Yeah, it was super nice.
Then I'm happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about the weather though, but
Oh,
It was so
so
fun.
we enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Thanks
have a safe
for
trip.
you.
yeah,
I'm happy.
yeah. See you next. Yeah, thank you.